Hey, Ricardo.
Yeah?
Ricardo, here's 50 bucks.
Oh my god! Oh my god, thanks, mister! Where did this come from?
From the good folks at Canadian Urban Network Television.
You mean C-U-N-T?
Yeah.
I thought you got rid of all that money.
Well, Ricardo, I was so depressed after the last episode that I watched Back to the Future Part 3. And I learned that I could tape up the check they wrote to you that I tore up, tape it up and cash it.
How could you do that to me? I was finally going to take Candy out to the casino. Not my usual date of dumpster diving and dining.
Ah, the 3 Ds. You know, I've never even had the 2 Ds. But Ricardo, I need your advice. See, I was finally able to pay off Jenny's internet bill, and now I want to ask her out on a date. But I realized I don't really know that much about women.
Oh, well, how much do you know?
Well, there's this video I've seen a number of times. Let's watch that now.
Hello, I'm Dr. Victor Stein, talking to you today about the female reproductive system.
Their education, they need to learn about the birds and bees.
First we have the fallopian tubes, which is a very long distance for the spermatozoa to swim so that he can meet the ovum, which is produced here in the ovaries. The ovaries are like the male gonads, except in the difference of that they have not yet dropped and never leave the female body. This is the uterus, where the stork leaves the baby and he sleeps until he comes out. And at the entrance of the uterus we have the cervix, which is part of this general vulvous area of whose function we are still not exactly sure. This is the clitori region, which may or may not exist according to experts. This finally brings us to the vagina, which is where the man sticks his penis and sometimes the women will go, ooh, ooh. I'm Dr. Victor Stein, concluding this lesson.
Their education, they need to learn about the birds and bees.
Let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Smilers never lose and frowners never win. So let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Open up your heart and let the sun shine in. Let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Smilers never lose and frowners never win. So let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Open up your heart and let the sun shine in.
And welcome to the Fireside Chat, live on Sunday, December the 6th. I'm JC Sunshine. Tonight my guest is Laura Burton Bloom. She'll be out in a little bit. Rex is here. My technical assistant Ricardo is here. I'm your host, JC Sunshine. I hope you've got a nice warm cup of cocoa. I do. But you know, Ricardo, I really realized that I don't know that much about women. So I decided to educate myself. I decided to brush up on some of the great feminist literature, the works of Gloria Steinem, Larry Flint, Perez Hilton.
Oh, all the masters.
Mastresses, Ricardo. Mastresses.
Yeah, mastresses.
Anyways, I was at the library and this man wearing a trench coat, very nice gentleman, suggested I take out this exotic sounding book called the Kama Sutra. But unfortunately it was for library use only.
Yeah.
So I asked the lady at the checkout counter any advice she could give me on my situation, and she said to check out this TV show that she used to watch when she was a little girl back in the day.
And you watched it?
Yeah, and I think it's actually pretty informative. Let's have a look at that right now. Honey, I'm home! Hey,
How's your
Dolphins!
day?
Oh, let me tell you about my day.
Why don't you relax while I fix you a drink?
Oh, it'd be fantastic. You know, drivers today, they just They don't know how to drive. Actually, no, they do know how to drive. They just have no respect for the rules of the road or other drivers. It's all about me, me, me. I mean, you're in one lane, you're in the next lane. Oh, you want to go back to the first lane. But forget about the guy who's behind you with the car, who's respecting the rest of the road. It just puts me in a foul mood. A foul mood. Foul. I mean, honey, I'm glad that, you know, you stay home, you don't go out driving, because you would see the horror that
Here's your
a working
drink.
man like myself deals with every day of his life. Oh, thank you.
Tell me about your day.
Well, first of all, my secretary this morning says, craziest thing, like we should start exporting overseas to China, cut our costs, and increase our profits. I mean, yak.
That sounds horrible.
But then this afternoon I was talking to Mr. Sterling Cooper, and I said, hey boss, you know what? We should start exporting overseas, you know, to China, cut our costs and increase our profits, and the guy almost gave me a promotion.
That sounds amazing. You're so smart, honey.
Thank you.
Why don't you put your feet up?
Oh, yeah. But you know, it wasn't all roses. I had to fire my secretary because this morning the coffee she made me was cold. Ugh, I mean, come on.
Oh, honey, that's bad news. But I think I know something that will cheer you up.
What?
For dinner tonight, I made your favorite.
Ah! Turkey meatloaf!
You've got it, sweetie.
Oh, I'm hungry. Let's go. Is it ready yet, honey?
Just give me a minute. Coming, honey. Here you go, sweetheart.
Oh, that looks fabulous.
Have some wine. How's the food, honey?
Fantastic, dear.
Can I eat now?
Oh, yes. By all
Thank
means, sit
you.
down. This is fantastic. Where'd you get the recipe?
Oh, actually, I got it from Martha down the street.
Oh, you girls, you get together, it's yab. What were you talking about this time?
We talked about laundry, and then we talked about our husbands, and we talked about the ramifications of an aging baby boomer population on womankind in the near future.
The what?
Our hair.
Oh.
We talked about our hair.
That's great, but I'm stuffed. Let's go have a cigarette.
Oh, that sounds amazing, honey.
Camels, the ones that doctors smoke.
First of all, I hate to tell you this, but I think your references are a little out of date.
Oh.
That sitcom was sexist, and it looks like it may have got cancelled after 2 episodes.
Back in 1956.
Probably, yeah. Have you heard of the internet by any chance?
Oh yes, I looked on the internet for information on women, but all I got were unrealistic body images and lovely young ladies in my local area that I could date.
Yeah.
One woman that was all over the internet is that young Sarah Palin.
Oh, Sarah Palin, I've heard of her.
Yeah, she was running for vice president a while back. And she's actually been in the news a lot lately. So let's do JC Sunshine reads the news. Sarah Palin's new book, Going Rogue, hit bookstores this week. That's the joke. Now, regardless of her status as author, chances are strong that Sarah Palin is still going to run for president in the year 2012. Now, if she wins, Ricardo, I think it's going to look something like this.
Speaking of which, I happen to be, I'm planning on writing a sequel to that, 2013 I call it.
Oh, to go along with GoBots the movie, right?
Yeah, hopefully it'll be back-to-back successes for me.
Well, I like your budding film career, Ricardo. More power to you. But speaking of powerful women, Oprah Winfrey announced that she will be leaving her talk show after 25 years on the air. Now this has left a number of middle-aged women wondering just where they're going to get their book suggestions from. Which brings me to a new segment. To kick it off, right, Ricardo? Look under your chair.
You didn't. No. Oh my god, it's keys!
Yeah, I think you dropped those on the floor earlier.
Oh yeah, they're my keys.
They open up your hovel or wherever it is you live. Anyways, the new segment is called JC Sunshine Hearts Books. Roll graphic. Da 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 da.
You're kidding, right?
Ricardo,
You know we don't have a budget for graphics.
it wasn't a graphic?
No, we have like 3 graphics for the show. That's it.
Oh. Well, in that case, pick up yourself a copy of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. It's a real good read.
I didn't like it too much. Too many zombies.
Anyways, moving along, the Canadian Women's Executive Network released its list of the top most powerful women in Canada. On this list were Supreme Court justices, some celebrities, even a few corporate executives like the head of Lululemon. And these are really, really powerful women.
Yeah, but can they cook?
I don't know, Ricardo. I don't know. In other news, Chris Brown is starting a tour with Mario. Who? Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. Now,
That's sad.
you know, Ricardo, I'm not really getting much inspiration, and I still don't know how I'm going to talk to Jenny. Maybe people in the chat have some insight into that. What do you think, Ricardo?
Well, I think we could ask them a few questions when we do the chat segment.
JC Sunshine reads the mail. Okay, Ricardo, are we getting any comments through the interwebs?
Yeah, well, this Fuzz Bucket, I think it was one of our contest winners.
Oh, Fuzz Bucket, yeah, you won a contest. You won a case of beer.
He says it won't be possible for you to get a woman.
It won't be possible.
No.
I don't want a woman, I want Jenny.
Oh, you want Jenny specifically?
Yes. So he doesn't have any advice?
Well, right now I'm not getting advice, but the G-Spot is saying drinks. Apparently drinks is a way to a woman's heart.
So if I make her a nice cup of cocoa, and I take it to her, she might enjoy the cup of cocoa and then want to go out with me?
Yeah, that might be it. But JC, I was also asking another question about views on feminism.
Oh.
And the G-Spot said that women are superior to men. So you have to keep that in mind. Always make sure that you realize that whenever you're talking with them.
So it's kind of like applying for a job then?
Yeah, I guess so. Like, yeah, you have to. It's like a job application.
Yeah, you have to treat them like the boss, and yeah, okay. Any more comments, Ricardo?
Yep, L&B's asking Jenny who?
Jenny is my neighbor. Now, she helped me learn how to ride a bike. She also is the one paying the internet bill for this show. And we got in a little bit of hot water a few episodes ago when Rex was downloading Jingle Cat's Christmas. Because of that, I had finally paid off her bill, and I like her, so I'm going to ask her on a date.
Okay, apparently Al Bundy wants to know if this is a feminist show, and we're not specifically a feminist show, but I think this episode is entitled "Women Know Your Limits."
Yes, but that's I believe a bit of irony, Ricardo.
Oh,
because actually this is definitely is a feminist themed episode because JC is trying to learn about women.
Okay. Well, you're trying to learn. Yes, that's true. I think that's a lot of great questions in here, but the G-Spot wants to tell you neighbors equals bad relationships.
That's a very interesting point. You know who? I'm going to get some advice on this one, Ricardo. I think I'm going to go call my mother.
Yeah, I think it's time that you spoke to your mother because I think she's always given you great, valuable information like your whole life.
Oh, I'm going to go talk to her right now.
Hello?
Hey, Mom, it's me, JC.
Listen, I created your character. I'm not your mother. Stop calling me
You
that.
mean I don't exist in reality and there's some actor playing me right now?
Yes, I created you and I can uncreate you.
Well, Mom, I mean,
I'm
Miss
busy.
Loughlin,
What do you want?
you see, I was hoping you could use your influence to make Jenny like me. I really like her.
Listen, I have a paying writing gig now. I don't have time to work on the JC Sunshine show. Anyways, I'm super busy. My house is going through a tunnel. Can't talk. Okay, bye.
My guest tonight is Laura Burton Bloom. She is not only a feminist, but she is also a woman. And hopefully she'll be able to give some advice on my dating journey. Now, Laura, what is the difference between a feminist and a woman?
Well, JC, that's a very good question. A woman is someone, generally, who is in possession of a vagina, where a feminist is someone who follows the philosophy of feminism.
So there could be male feminists and women who aren't feminists.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting. Now, I guess I'll get a little bit serious. You're on here tonight. Tonight is an anniversary of sort. Well, it's a sad anniversary of something very bad with women. There was a massacre, actually, 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
At the École Polytechnique. And I guess we all still remember that. But my question is, since then, has the situation for women improved?
Since 20 years ago, I would think yes, to a little extent, yeah. There's still a lot of places that we can improve, though.
Oh, such as?
Generally in media, everywhere in the media, women aren't necessarily being represented to the full extent, you know, that they should be looked upon. They're still overtly sexualized in most cases.
Because there's a lot of women in the media, but they're in certain roles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For example, okay, now could you give me maybe an example, like from a specific type of media?
A specific type of media? Well, advertising for sure. I mean, if you look just at the American Apparel ads, which, you know, are supposed to be so revolutionary for women. But
I was told they were empowering.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because the lighting has changed, and the idea that the person who owns American Apparel is trying to, like, hawk, he's saying that they're revolutionary, but in fact they're still, it's the exact same sexualized image that we're used to in so many other places.
Well, speaking of pornography, I understand there's some type of pornography that's considered feminist porn. Is that, do you have any comments on that, or can pornography actually be positive, or is it always negative?
Pornography can definitely be positive, because I'm a big believer in expressing your sexuality in however you can. Anything different than mainstream pornography, I'd say, can go places at this point. But I'm not too familiar with feminist pornography, honestly. But I have a lot of opinions about regular pornography.
Oh,
yeah.
And they're not very positive?
No, no, obviously not. They depend a lot on debasing women, on violence towards women, on just, it's completely from the men's point of view, and that's a big thing that I think feminism can work on now, is even though we're getting, you know, we can work, we can vote, we can do all those typical feminist things, that there's still a lot of places we can grow.
Very interesting. You actually have a view, I've been told, on comic books.
Correct. Well, my boyfriend is a comic book artist for Marvel Comics, and once I started dating him, I realized something really interesting. And I always thought, when I looked at comics, the women looked so pornographic. You know, their breasts were enlarged, they were so anatomically incorrect, and I realized it's because they're actually modeled off of porn stars, naked porn stars. So they're drawn first, naked, clothes are painted upon them, and then that's presented as a normal image of a woman.
Oh.
Yeah.
The men are sexy too.
They are.
I'm getting some questions through the chat. I'm getting a question from the G-Spot. Women need a better political representation in Canada, like party leaders, and he brings up Elizabeth May, like, as being the only, like, female political leader. Do you think that's true, or not true, or false?
She's one of the most high-profile political leaders in Canada right now, which is great. But yeah, there's always room for way more political participation by women, both in party politics and in local politics, and anything that they can explore.
Al Bundy wants to know, what type of feminist are you? I guess there are different types.
Honestly, I'm a radical feminist. I mean, I know I don't look it. Most people imagine radical feminists with shaved heads, you know, multiple piercings, generally.
The fist in the air? The
fist in the air, hating men, you know, down on men. But I think radical feminism, for me, and that's just one type of feminism, means the entire, you know, social, political system that we're in needs a complete rehaul. Not just putting women in the system, but fixing the system to represent women more appropriately.
Okay.
I know there was another issue recently with the doctored photographs that we see. I read an article.
Oh yes, there was an article on a woman. The photograph was actually, she was impossibly thin. I know a lot of models are very thin,
But her
she
legs
was
were airbrushed, like her hips were
technically,
airbrushed
her
out
head was
of
bigger
the-
than her body.
99.9% of female images in the media right now are airbrushed to some extent, whether it's grotesque like that woman was, or just to make them thinner however you can. So that's everywhere, and we don't even realize that, and that's scary.
Now, would you have any advice as to how I could maybe ask Jenny, my neighbor, out on the date?
Absolutely, JC. Just remember that no matter how special he is, or how nervous she makes you feel, and she's a pretty woman, she's still a human just like you. So just talk to her like you would talk to any other
Just
human.
be calm and don't ask her out first thing.
That's absolutely. You need to ask her about
composure.
herself. Keep
Yeah.
your composure, breathe.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to go do that right now. I want to thank my guest. My guest is Laura Burton Bloom.
Thank you, JC.
She was a wonderful guest. And yeah, so I'm going to go ask Jenny out. To come back next week for the fireside chat. And maybe I'll be telling you about the date we had. Let me go now.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi, JC.
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Pretty good, you?
Good. Look, Jenny, I was wondering if you know sometime maybe you and me, like Tuesday with a coffee and maybe with a movie and a coffee, like to hang out, sort of stuff. Yeah.
Well, JC, that's really nice of you, but I have a boyfriend, so
Who's your boyfriend?
his name's Chris.
Chris who?
Chris Kringle.
Oh, I can see who you
Yeah. I'm sorry, JC. I have things to do, so yeah. Sorry.
Santa! Well, at least she likes guys with beards.
You keep saying you got something for me. Something you call love, but confess. You've been a messin' where you shouldn't have been a messin'. And now someone else is getting all your best. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you.
Well, this is our contest winner, Liz. Liz, what was it like winning the contest?
Well, JC, I was really, really excited. And then I found out that I had to be on the show.
And then you were more excited?
Yeah, kind of.